Hi, welcome. My name is Dale McCluskey, and on this video I'd like to take a few minutes to discuss the protective training script and why it's important when you're seeking to have a protection trained dog that it's coming, that ability, that protection ability is coming through the proper relational framework, and so that when it comes to having a dog that you can trust and depend on, but still be a friendly, trustworthy dog within the context of your family, to have that trust, you have to bring a dog into right relationship when it comes to having them trained to protect. And this is the whole thing, to gain context or discernment as to why or how power is being expressed within what framework, what state of mind. You can use the example of when you start to step back and look at, say, a dog that's holding a lot of power, but beyond the boundaries of the follower script. Yes, they will protect the territory and the home and the people in it, but they're doing so within the context of seeing them as a power source, of seeing them as their property. So that's why you won't have control over that dog through commands or the ability to stop them from biting people that they shouldn't bite, because that dog doesn't see people within the right relational framework. That the people don't have influence over the dog that way because they're not coming into proper relational alignment. So what's happening is that dog is pushing beyond the boundaries of that script and is starting to seek out and going after people, not just in the protection framework, but as a source of fulfillment, being empowered through the hunting predatory drive itself. So that pivot point is critical. So what I show people is when you're seeking out to have a protective ability, it's very important that it's happening within the context of the follower script. And so therefore the hunting predatory state, that basic drive of the dog, is actually being expressed within the context of the follower state. Therefore it's a conditional state. It doesn't have just a green light, so to speak. There's actually a yellow and red light there within the context of having influence over the dog's state of mind. And that's something that a lot of people have difficulty with when they start to try to engage a dog within getting that protective ability up. Oftentimes what happens is they're not in right harmony, so therefore the dog either will be expressing that hunting drive, that predatory drive, pushing beyond the edges and beyond the boundary lines of that follower script in such a way the dog won't let go, won't release. And you'll get that even within police handler settings, where you'll see how that dog is expressing that state of mind at too high of a level. So, but then what you get to at the same time is you'll get trainers who think that somehow obedience training or what is defined as obedience training is going to interfere in the reliability and the dog's ability to be dependable and express that state of mind, that somehow obedience training will interfere with that. So they won't, they'll kind of loosely bring the dog under obedience. In fact, what they'll do is they won't halt. The concept is the dog will get a bite, okay, just to guarantee that dog will bite. However, that's again wrong thinking. I mean, because dogs are relational beings, so obedience is defined within the relational context of how we connect within mind and body. It's happening regardless of how people want to define it. It's happening anyway, and so the proper way to go is to create the type of script so that you have influence, so that dog will not just when they express that state of mind, but you have the ability to have influence over it in such a way so you can issue a command that dog will release. And then so there's actually kind of stop and go points. So that's why you introduce commands for the dog to express that state fully, but then say if the guy stops and drops a weapon or just gives up, you can have that ability, that control level, so that you can issue another command. That dog will circle and protect and bark. And if the person re-engages in a threatening manner or whatever's going on, you can re-engage that state of mind fully, okay, and then stop it again. But it's knowing how to develop that script in such a way that you have the type of script going or framework going, so that you have the dependability, you have the full, you're able to harness the full drive of the dog in such a way that you can create those type of mechanisms that give you the trustworthy, dependability of the dog, without some sort of mindless act where the dog's going to hurt people that it shouldn't hurt. And that's the thing about, how protective dog training is done through the relational model, is it's developed through the relationship, so that it's not just a mindless act. There's not a fear. If you say someone accidentally says the word within a family setting of to attack, the dog isn't going to be some sort of zombie and start to attack people. There's relational context. It's how the script is running, so that the dog actually will know, okay, because they're relational beings. So it's not just an issuance of a command. It's relationally scripted. So the ability to develop that comes through creating the framework, creating the foundation right from the very start, so that you can bring that handler into harmony with the drive of the dog, and be making sure that the instinctive predatory drive of the dog is being unleashed fully, okay, within the follower script as a conditional state. So again, because it builds those mechanisms in, so that you have the right level of influence over the dog's decision-making process, so that you can create the stop and go type of aspect, which is what you want. I mean, you want that ability, while at the same time the dog can function and be within a family setting and have that trust, reliability, and relationship, so that you have a great family dog. But that, again, that comes through hard work. It comes through understanding dogs at the relational level this way, understanding how a dog's decision-making process works within the context, within the framework of the predatory drive of the dog, to bring it within the right relationship. So this system of training is very analytical. It has the ability to break this down and to develop that script in such a way that you kind of have your cake and eat it too. I mean, you don't, and it creates a situation where you're not creating liability issues, because oftentimes what happens is people are operating from a different level, a different frequency when it comes to dogs, and they just start kind of going at it. Oftentimes you can have issues and problems develop, which are really training problems. I mean, at the relational level. So oftentimes what happens is the focus will get shifted onto the dog as the problem, when in reality it's the approach. Dogs will get washed out all the time, and the focus has to shift. I mean, if people aren't able to break down the how the ideology or the methodology, the approach itself, how at what level it's effective with creating the type of relational change you want. If the ideology isn't looked at and you don't have the ability to discern that, then the focus has to shift against the dog or against the person. I mean, that's just how it's going to go down. So I would just encourage you to think about the whole protective dog ability. If you're seeking out to have that ability, that type of trustworthy, reliable, protective dog ability, it all starts with starting to bring yourself into right relationship and bring the dog's decision-making process within the framework of the follower script, and then the ability to work off that through the game of tug and start to develop that up. But it's really important to be in harmony, right relational harmony, so that you have the right level of influence, and you're able to develop that type of stop and go approach, that you can engage the dog at that level and have a very dependable, trustworthy, reliable protective dog service. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope this video was insightful.